Welcome back to Live With, brought to you by Species Nutrition. I'm Dave Palumbo, and I have a very special show for you guys tonight. The Dubai Muscle Show is coming up next weekend, December 5th through the 7th. So to help promote that event and give us a little insight into what's going to be going on that weekend, we have, of course, the promoter, Nick Blair, but we also have 7-time Mr. Olympia, Phil Heath, back on the show. Welcome, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dave.
And Phil, you got a blanket of white snow there in Colorado, huh?
Yeah, it's a complete whiteout right now, but looks like I'm going to be staying in most of the day.
I thought, though, in Colorado, when it snows, you guys have it down to like a science. You guys clear the stuff real quickly, you know?
Yeah, we do. But as I'm even looking outside right now, there's very few cars that are driving, so I think it's just because it's been a consistent flow of snow. So I wouldn't be surprised if the highways are clear. It's just the neighborhoods are going to be tore up.
Have you ever had the desire, Phil? I mean, I got sick of the snow. I left New York. I'm in Florida now. You ever think you would ever maybe move out of Colorado? I know that's your home base and you've been there your whole life pretty much, but you ever think about going to Cali or, Florida or something like that?
Yeah, thought about Florida for quite some time. City of like Odessa, thought about Tampa, obviously thought about California. Like Southern Cal was appealing, obviously, just because I would be doing business out there anyway. But Cherie's actually from Northern Cal, so I think she was kind of tired of that. But and we all know Northern California, I mean, the cost of living there is ridiculous.
Oh, yeah, it's insane.
It's just too wild. But and then we thought about Texas for a little bit because I have family there too. But Colorado right now is our home base. I wouldn't be surprised in the next couple of years though, we buy an additional property in one of those areas just for shit like this.
That's crazy. You're still in there.
Yeah.
Although it gives you the eye of the tiger, it keeps you hungry. You know what I mean?
Oh, I could literally do like a Rocky IV video right now. Like this, it's that fucking bad. I might have to do it today.
There you go. Now, Nick, this Dubai show now has been extended to 3 days from 2 days, which was what it was last year. Obviously, the show is growing by leaps and bounds. I said it last year to you, and I think it's even bigger this year. If you want to go to a one expo anywhere in the world that will have the most high, end, I guess you could say popular people, Mr. Olympias, big names in the sport, I don't think you can find them under one roof in any place other than Dubai, because you guys have everyone there this year. You got Phil and Rami and Kai and Ronnie and Hadi Shupin and Jeremy Buendia and Ryan Terry and Nathan Diaz, Johnny Jackson, Larry Wheels, Sadiq Hadzovic. I mean, I'm sure I forgot people. You got them all.
We're just missing Dave Palumbo this year. We've got Sid Faruqi instead.
I got babies now, Nick. I got a new baby. So
yeah.
Next year.
Yeah, but I think over here in the Middle East, definitely the big names you mentioned, Phil, Kai, those guys, always super popular, always got huge queues. So that's something that's really been a key success factor for us, is bringing these guys over. And we've been talking about the weather with Phil. People love coming to Dubai. This time of year, it's perfect weather, and it's a good chance to have a bit of a holiday vacation as well.
Yeah, I mean, and there's a lot to do. I mean, literally, for people who haven't gone to Dubai, it's like going to Las Vegas times 10, basically. People think of, the Middle East. They have no concept until they actually go to Dubai how awesome it is there. Now, Phil, you haven't been to Dubai in a couple of years, right?
Actually, I was in Dubai, I want to say like a couple months ago.
Oh, for business.
Yeah, but have not been out there for any type of non-business trip, any type of pleasure trip. But I will say that, coming out to Dubai for this event is going to be huge for me as well, because of the fact that there are so many big names, but there's a lot of passionate fans out there. And I think it's people like myself that have to recognize that and say, you know what, when the opportunity arises, let's get your ass over there. So that's what I'm doing. Thanks to Nick and his staff to bring me along. It's going to be very interesting. Just the names that you mentioned. I'm I'm a bodybuilding fan, so I'm like, holy shit, man, this is gonna be fun, and it's gonna be cool too. Because I mean, sometimes on tour you don't really get to meet one another because we all live in different areas of the world.
Right.
And then when you're stuck into a hotel, sometimes you end up, it's like a high school all over again. Like who's gonna sit with who, and you never know who you might be sitting with. It's like what was it? Well, just last week. I mean, next thing you know, I was sitting with Kai Green up on a panel.
Right.
No one ever thought that. So it's just like stuff like that, and you end up conversing with one another. So it works out well even for the athletes, essentially, and not to mention meeting all the amazing crowd.
Right. I mean, last year when I was out there, I actually got Jay and Ronnie up on the stage at the same time and got to talk about their battles. I mean, that was just like awesome. I mean, it's like for a fan, it's like a fantasy camp because you get to see all your guys interacting. And for some reason, I always noticed this when I was, back when I was competing and traveling. Do you notice when you go to like foreign countries like that are really far away, all of a sudden, all the feuds and all the things that go on like in the U.S. or at the shows we see here, everything disappears. Everyone seems to be friends with each other.
Oh, 100%.
Right? Isn't it weird?
Fingers crossed.
Yeah. I mean, I'm still thinking of when Kai and I was doing the Sharu Classic, and there's a video about, let me say, all right, so I'm on the bus. We're getting ready to leave. I think it was the second year that we were doing the Sharu. And I'm sitting there with my meal, just like everybody else. And then here comes Kai on the bus. Now, mind you, this is a bus just for the athletes and personnel.
Yeah.
I had the last seat open. So, of course, I'm putting my leg over the seat.
You don't want Kai sitting next to you, right? Exactly.
Yeah, I'm like, oh. And then it was just funny because everybody's like, oh, So it was funny because everyone else, I realized at that point that everybody else on that bus was more into the rivalry than Kai and I was. And everybody was kind of instigating.
Yeah.
But to come to find out, I mean, you guys can see the video. I'm sure you've seen it. We sat there and we just chatted here and there. And, you kind of realize that we don't have to put our armor on right now. We're not going to battle today.
Right.
And we can just have casual conversation. And we've been able to do that, especially after the 2018 Olympia, here and there, very, very well. And I'm very, very excited for his current and future endeavors. And I know he feels the same way about me.
Yeah.
But it is a time where you do, I believe, the top guys usually have that conflict. Like you say, Jay and Ronnie wasn't as emotionally driven as Kai and I. But road trips like these, man, I'm telling you, like it definitely brings people together, especially with like you said, with the language barrier and stuff like that. And now with social media, I think it's a really good opportunity to show the camaraderie between the two athletes, to show that, hey, we may be like the Red Sox and Yankees or whatever you want to call it, but today it's not about that. Today it's about the people. Today it's about the fans and the sport.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. Now, I have to ask you, obviously, this is the first year you've been out of the Olympia. I don't even know how many years.
2007, dude.
Crazy, right? I mean, it's like you're like a fixture there. People don't even know what to do without seeing you at the Olympia. What was it like sitting, not being up on that stage?
Various emotions was going through. Actually, the way I handle things is try to go through those scenarios weeks before, if I can, to try to prepare me for the actual moment. So, about 2 months out, I'm thinking, okay, you're not doing the show. So, how are you going to feel? And I started going through preliminary emotions like, oh man, this sucks. And then I realized, Phil, you haven't had a summer to yourself since 2007, dude. Right. Take advantage of this time and be a normal cat that's training, that's eating, just like you would for a show, but you can actually go out, like you actually do stuff. So take advantage of this time. So the week of the show was when it started getting a little heavy, because those, it was funny because I was at Armbrust Pro Gym. So Dylan Armbrust, our trainer, was like, dude, you look like you could just step on stage today and actually not just compete, but like whip their ass. And I go, I'm not even trying, bro. Like, I'm not doing anything on protocol, nothing. And he goes, you know what it is? Is that your body is running on autopilot and you're like, you don't have control of it right now. Like, it wants to do the show.
Right.
So also my emotions wanted to do the show. So leading up into it, Hani and I would have a lot of conversations. I would have a lot of conversations with Cherie about it. And then I just realized, like, the day of the show, I'm like, Hani was already in Vegas, obviously. Hani wanted me to fly out. And I thought about it last minute. Cherie was actually cool about it. She was like, you know, if you want to just go out for a couple of days, I'll be fine. I said, you know what? I need to know what this feels like to be at home and just watch it. So I watched it. We actually watched it. We went out to eat that night, the prejudging night. We went out to a restaurant, and here I am on my phone.
Yeah,
Just like everybody else. And it was cool because I got to feel like everybody else, like they're doing the same thing. And you know, I was disappointed a lot in what I was watching, but then I was just trying to take a step back and just say, you know what, man, like, how do you feel? Like, and the way I felt was I was good with it. I was happy. The next night, went over to my friend's house. I was actually at one of my friend's house playing with his kids. And next thing you know, I get a phone call from Rock Shabazz and IBB Pro, and he works with Shaq. So Shaq was at the at the final. So we were bullshitting with him during part of the show. So I felt like I was there too in Vegas. So it was cool. It was different. I'm glad I can say I had that experience. And now, you know, we just have to take it day by day, because trust me, like, everybody since then is like, so what'd you think of the show? Like, were you there? Like, why didn't you go? Like, and I will say this, everybody's usually programmed to just go, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, I shouldn't have to be programmed to just go to an event.
Right.
If I want to go, I'll go. But if I don't want to go, there's other things I could be attending to, you know, family, business, etc. And I took advantage of that, and I'm happy with it.
No, look, I could understand, because I go every year, like, on autopilot too. And my daughter was just born. I didn't go. It was hard for me not to be there, because I'm a fixture there. Even though I'm not on stage, I'm a guy who's reporting on it in the scene. So it was difficult not going. But I understand where you're coming from. But for your perspective, you had to look at the result and see people were off. You had to think, hey, not only did I maybe miss out on an 8th title, but I lost out on a really big paycheck I could have gotten. Did that would have bothered me more than I think the fact that I didn't do the show, you know?
Right. And I think that's where, like, my mental and emotional intelligence had to play a role, because you know, the minute you commit to a show, I don't care. Well, I shouldn't say I don't care who you are, but when you're in that top 5, and when you're in contention, not only do you train for, oh, I'm going to be Mr. Olympia, you're training to get a fucking paycheck, dude.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're lying to everybody, including yourself, your family, and your fans, to say that I just do it just because I like to do it. Well, let's see you place last and see you say that. You know, after placing top 3, you would not be saying that. You would feel like a failure, and you would definitely be pissed because of all the people, all the sponsors, everybody putting money and resources into you, and you fail. You would be very upset. So you want to be able to say, you know what, I placed the best I could. You know, I was able to, and mind you, every time I've won the Olympia, I always have told the person who I beaten, you always embrace and all that shit. And I say, you know, isn't it amazing that we can make money for our families? Because this is a sport that we didn't think going into that we could even do that. I mean, but so therefore, Dave, when you remove that possibility out of your mind of competing, the $400,000 is not something that you worry about. If anything, I used to tell some of my friends at the gym, I'm like, have you guys realized what I've been doing this year? And they're like, no. I go, exactly. I've been working. So who's to say that I didn't already make that same money without
right. I understand what you're saying.
So,
You were able to
so
commit
those,
more
those
time
things,
to your business, and
those
that's
are
going
the,
to
and those are
obviously
those,
bear fruit
right.
down the road.
And those are those things that honestly, we as athletes, I don't think talk about it enough to where the general public understands, like, look, the whole goal is to ride it till the wheels fall off, right? Like compete, compete, compete. And it's like, yeah, but at some point in time, you're going to have to be able to survive with that same lifestyle or similar lifestyle that you're comfortable with for the next 30 plus years.
Absolutely.
So if that means that you may take off 12 months, 24 months, 36 months to figure that chapter of your life out, I say go do it, because your body may shut down on you or whatever. You can have an injury, and then you're just one of those athletes that, I mean, I hate to say it, but I watch NFL, I watch NBA a lot. I got friends in both sports, and I've seen guys that have retired with a couple hundred million, and I've seen guys pseudo retire with only 2 million, and after making the same amount of money.
Yeah.
So
and 2 million doesn't last that long. You know that.
No, so you have to really think about those things. So I don't think about the cash like that as much as people think. I do think that, no disrespect to the guys, but I told them, I said it on I said it on I think it was MD. I said, you guys need to train your asses off, and I did a call to action to all the athletes, because I had a feeling. I was telling Hani, I said, I have a feeling that a lot of them, since I'm probably not going to be there, they don't have a rabbit to chase, and they're not going to go as hard. And they may hear this and get upset and say, no, you're not right. And it's like, well, then why? Why didn't you? We didn't see anything that was like,
nope.
Holy shit. Like,
nope,
what
you're right. It's amazing. It's amazing that no one came and brought that.
I mean, Hadi Choopan, like, was the one guy that we could say that about, because we haven't also seen him.
Right.
And with him weighing only 217, 218, I mean, yeah, like that was like shock value. For myself, because I didn't watch a Vancouver show. I saw pictures and stuff, but it's the Olympia. Like, I never really look at other contests other than Olympia, because it's a bigger stage, different lighting, all that shit. But I look at it as an opportunity missed on between Open and 212. I think there was a lot of people that, really missed their mark. I think Classic and Men's Physique, they all nailed it. But for Open, oh man, like, I don't know, man. Like, they all need to be shaking their head right now. Like, there was
missed opportunity. You're right. I 100% agree. I think that,
and for me to say that,
didn't bring
Phil Heath came in off and then won. Well, I'm not going to say that, but I'm going to say this. I probably would have won that show during prejudging, because they were just missing certain things. And it's a 2-day show, and the Olympia is a very difficult show. And I think we're able to see now that, if you want to win the Olympia, like, you've got to bring it, the week before, and then take it another notch on that Friday, Saturday night.
Looking at the landscape now of the men's open division, obviously having a whole year to kind of recuperate, work your business and everything like that, we're going to see Phil Heath in 2020, or are you done?
Part of me was like, to be honest, after looking at last year's Olympia, I was like, I'm fucking done. Like, this is stupid. Mm-hmm. Because part of me was like, okay, what do you have to prove? Which is absolutely nothing.
Sure. And not after 7 wins, yeah.
No, hell no. And I don't even think people are just now starting to wrap their heads around that, which is quite interesting. They love you. They love you after.
Of course, that's always the case. While you're doing it, man, everyone wants to see you beat, right?
Like, fuck, man. Like, we just wanted to see you lose. And, shout out to the fans, man. Like, I had a lot of people like, man, I used to fucking hate you, dude. And not seeing you there, I was really upset and this, that. And I'm just here to tell everybody, look, we're all adults, and some people are a little bit more childish than childlike. But all in all, it's been fun, and it's been fun to see the transition of fans.
Right.
To go from like, oh, I freaking hate your guts after you won so many times. Like, I just want to see a change, and now they see the change, and they're like, And that just tells me that they want to see it. They believe in a better quality. Like they know that I possess that quality of like, oh wow, like he comes in right, like it's going to be entertaining. So I've taken that into consideration also. But I've gone back and forth. I mean, there's times where I'm like, man, you're tied with Schwarzenegger. Like if, I mean, all due respect to Lee Haney and Ronnie Coleman, I go on any TV show, Nick, I'm going to be in Dubai. Like, you don't think that those people, you know damn well, those reporters are going to have my name saying tied with Schwarzenegger or something similar.
But Phil, you're Mr. Competition. I know you're very competitive, and that's why you're so good at what you do, whether it be basketball or it be bodybuilding. I know you want 9 titles. I can smell it on you, you know.
It's definitely something that I deal with when I go in the gym, and I'm just trying to make this work for myself and for my family, and make sure that everything is in alignment the way that I want it, instead of just having to do it for somebody else.
Right.
So to see me to commit, one thing, Dave, I will tell you, like honest truth, was that, you know, I said, you know what, fuck this, I don't need to do this anymore. And it wasn't out of bitterness. It was just like, I don't want to do it. I just want to like not be normal, but like do other things. And then I thought, gosh damn, man, like that's what it looks like without me there. Ugh. And just go back and forth. So you go back and forth. You're like, well, how is it going to be promoted better? And how would it be promoted to where even guys like me would find it entertaining? I thought they did a decent job this year. I still think there's things that could be improved on, because now it has to be a lot about that part for me. But and some fans, they may not understand that side, the business side, this and that. But as far as the competitive side, I mean, of course, like I go to the gym now and I'm like, fuck, dude. And the best part is that I go to the gym now knowing that I'm Mr. Olympia. I'm 7-time Mr. Olympia. I'm not washed up. I still look great. Like even my off season, I'm barely eating 2-3 times a day, reading a bunch of freaking books and, you know, business journals and courses and sales courses and shit, because I'm re-educating myself on my business. But as far as 2020, a lot of things will have to come into alignment. I pretty much have talked to Dan Solomon about that a couple times prior to the Olympia. To me, things just have to be in proper alignment, because it's got to be a big production, a big splash. Like the marketing for me, like has to be a certain way. And I don't mean that like it has to be one-sided. It just has to be done a certain way where, you know, champions should be celebrated. And I know in my past, I wasn't really celebrated as much because it was so easy. I mean, even for you, Dave, like it was easy for people like you and everybody else to say, okay, Phil has accepted the villain role. Let's just fucking rock with it, because we need a villain to sell tickets and to do those things. Right now, we have no hero and no fucking villain in the sport.
You're right.
So if I decide to come back, which role do I play? Which role do I accept? Maybe I don't want to play the villain role anymore. Maybe I want to turn it around.
No, that's a good. It's a good perspective. I didn't even think about that. You're right.
You know,
You're right.
It's so easy to just talk shit about.
That's really what they should be billed as. You know.
Yeah, it's very easy, and we all know. I mean, like we're in the business of social media and marketing and stuff. You got to have certain articles and coverage of like things that are newsworthy, that is clickable. And so I won't use the word, you know, clickbait, but you know, you have to have something that sticks. It's very easy to say, Phil Heath kicked the dog down the street. Oh, fuck that guy. You know, like, you know, but if you notice, like there's no other top competitors that are actually able to win the Olympia that have the ability to be disliked. Yeah. And that's where, you know, everybody else has been able to hide all these years. But the minute like someone gets criticized, like, oh man, like they just like, it's not the same.
They crumble.
Yeah. So, you know, you have to have both. I'm sorry. Like, it's just the way it is. And you got to have someone that you revere, like you love. And then you have to have that person that just, you can't stand a little bit, but you respect them. And like I said, I mean, you know, I went to school for business as well as IT. So I understand, you know, how I would view it. And I understand how it's been portrayed. So I think in order for me to do it, I would like to know who's going to be the antagonist. I would like to know who's going to really step it up and actually be willing to, because Dave, I've taken hits even on your show without being on it.
Yeah.
You know, who's going to be that person that's willing to do that and not get all ass chapped and understand that this is just what people in the media do. This is what their job is.
Yeah.
And my job is to go out there and produce a great product. If I don't produce a great product to that individual or group of individuals, doesn't mean I suck. It just means that they don't like it.
Right.
But I'm here to go win. I'm here to go do a great job.
Yeah, you know, this is the way as a fan I interpreted. I felt that people they get sick of the same person. They got sick of Ronnie. They wanted to see Ronnie lose, for God's sakes. And he's the most beloved, probably Mr. Olympia of all time. So you leave, and now they got left with whoever is at the 19 Olympia. Okay, now, no disrespect to any of those athletes. They're all great athletes. We know that. No one really brought it, like you said. And now we have a Mr. Olympia who's good. Brandon Curry's a good person, good representative of the sport. But I feel like the fans are left, and I could say as a fan, with like we're missing something. That's it. We want Ronnie, we want Phil, we want Jay, we want a bigger than life person, and I don't think Brandon has stepped up to that role yet. He might, and that's why I think the second year always kind of defines your legacy. Rody never had a chance to step up because obviously he screwed up, and now he's dealing with that, and we don't know how that's going to work out. So I'm not going to discuss that, but so it's almost like we need a hero, and I, you went from being the anti-hero to kind of like maybe the savior of bodybuilding in the sense that if you come back, we feel like, there's a worthy guy who's going to step into that role or try to step into that role. And obviously, I don't think there's ever been a Mr. Olympia who's come back after more than 1 year and won the title back, right?
No. And I think you're absolutely right. I mean, we're in the world of entertainment, but also storytelling. So, I mean, of course, like selling a comeback story like this would be, for me as a competitor, it'd be great. But, like I said, I just make sure that I don't rush anything now, because I have the luxury to do that. And I never thought that was even possible, because normally what happens after you do a contest that you don't win? You have some food, you talk a little shit, you go on the internet, you're like, oh man, I look better than this guy, whatever. And then you go back to the gym and you have that relentless mindset, dauntless mindset of like, I've got to go shut these guys up. Well, as you guys know, like I didn't have that opportunity. I had to go get surgery on another hernia.
Yeah.
So I was laid up for 5.5 months. I actually, where's that? Freaking notebook, man. I used a notebook. That's what I used as for this and for this. And I wrote in that thing, and
you wrote like a journal you wrote in.
Yeah, man, because you gotta, if you can't use those muscles, you got to use this.
Yeah.
So that was going to keep me sane, because bodybuilders, like real hard competitors like myself, if you can't go to the gym for 2 days in a row, like you're going to get a little antsy. Imagine 5.5 months.
Yeah, no,
you're going to be
crazy.
pissed. So because of that time period, I got to learn about myself, and I got to appreciate what I accomplished. And, now if people see me on social media, they hear me say, give me my flowers while I'm alive, not when I'm dead, and I want to do the same for everybody else. I want to acknowledge someone's greatness. I want to say, man, if you're great, you are great today. Like, I'm not going to wait 10 years from now to tell you that, oh yeah, back in 2019, you were great. It's like, what kind of insecure ass shit is this? Like, and I think we live in a world right now that's what people do. And I think for me right now, I love competing. The one thing, Dave, I will tell you, I don't like the smell of the tanning. That's the thing I don't miss.
No,
I don't miss that.
It's better nowadays because you guys get it sprayed on. Back when I was competing, we had to paint it on for hours and hours and hours.
Yeah.
It was terrible.
I mean, I don't miss that. But I was talking to Hani last night, and I was like, I should possibly see what I look like at the Arnold Classic this year. Not as far as competing, but maybe I turn things up a little bit just to see where I'm at, because I've been, 260, 265.
You look big to me. I don't know. You look huge.
Yeah, and I've been under 265 the whole year, and I've just been in good shape.
Yeah.
And it's produced a lot of, less stress on my body. And for me, that's been my whole thing with my career has been predicated on making sure blood work is like impeccable, like because of life after this. So, I was able to take the year and just really see what I could do with less of everything, if you know, like everything, but food, food, everything. So because of that, I'm like, holy shit, you look like this, and that's what you're doing? Man, maybe I fired up a little bit, kick the tires, get out for a spin, so I'm enjoying it. And one of the best things that is going in my life is that I'm about to turn 40 years old.
I was going to ask you about that. When does that happen? What year? What date is that?
It's the 18th of December, week before Christmas. And one of the major things that I wanted to do is, because of me not preparing for any contest, because literally today I will go on my phone and someone like send me a video message and say, please do the Olympia. And I'm like, I appreciate all that love and support. I really do. But what I'm doing right now is preparing each day going into, because I don't like New Year's resolutions at all. I think they don't work. But what I do think works is appreciating what you have leading up into that new year. So for me, I was like, you know what I should be doing? I should be thinking, I should be jotting down messages, notes. If you see my office right now, it's a mess. Like I got sticky notes like everywhere. Is every day get a % better and understand what your 30s meant to you. What did your 30s really, like when you're 10 years from now, when you talk about what did 30 mean to you? What did 31, 35, 39? Focus on those things so that I have that real good momentum, because I'm the type of person that if I'm good, like in here and my headspace is good, doing the Olympia is no issue.
Right.
Like I'll win the Olympia. Like there's no problem with that. It's just that I want to make sure that I take advantage of the opportunity that's in front of me. It's not the most ideal, but I said in an interview a while ago after the Olympia, that this point in time is an opportunity for growth personally, and I accept that challenge, and I feel like I'm coming out on the other side of it. And it's great timing for me because I have a documentary that's being created starting next month called Breaking. It's called Breaking Olympia. And, it's going to talk about all these things and show the world like who Phil Heath really is, not a docudrama that the guys over at GI did, not some bullshit, but it's like.
All right, Phil, are you going through, because I think we all go through it. Most of us handle it pretty well, but do you think this is like a midlife crisis for you in the sense that you're assessing what you did in the past, what you're going to do moving forward, because you're at a precipice of, turning 40. I remember when I was sitting at the press conference and you were the youngest guy on stage. You're like, oh, I got time. I don't have to worry. I'm going to win the Olympics one day. I'm not worried about it right now because I'm the youngest guy here. Now you're not the youngest guy. You're one of the older guys. It has to play into your mind. All right, what's my legacy now, and what am I going to do the rest of my life at some point?
The cool thing. Well, the cool thing is that I recognize what I've accomplished. So therefore, there is no crisis. Yeah. There's no crisis. Right. Like. I look at it as I'm getting ready to start playing on the second half of this, or should I say the back end of the golf course. So I'm on the back nine. Sure. I played the front nine of this golf course, and I think I've done pretty damn good. I've had a lot of amazing experiences. So I really have nothing to be ashamed of. I have a lot more upside actually on this back nine these next 40, 50 years, God willing, than I did on the front. So that's where I'm at. There's, like I said, there is no fucking crisis at all because, like, there just isn't, because I did come to a revelation of realizing just how good I am. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if people like, what do you mean? Sometimes, man, like people in my position, like, we're always thinking about tomorrow, the next month, the next year, whatever. You don't really understand like just how great you are until you do like a book or a documentary and you watch those videos. Guys, I don't sit here on YouTube watching my shit. I think a lot of us, don't watch our episodes because we're kind of shy in that way. Someone sent me a video of when I won the 2013 Olympia. And then also the 2011 Olympia. And I was just like, fucking hell.
Yeah.
Like
You can't
that
even believe it's
shit,
you, right? It's like crazy.
that shit, like I fucked those guys up. Like that was just ridiculous. The battles of 2014 with Kai and myself, like 2015 with Dexter, 2016 with Sean, and 2017, like with Ramy, like man, like I chopped a lot of fucking scalps, dude. I took scalps from some of the greatest of all time,
Yeah.
and that's no disrespect. That's just my my inner warrior coming out in my
But the thing is, there's no new guys here. They're the same guys that you've beaten already. So
like they
that's
don't
why
have.
I have to think that you're hungry and that you want to get back up there and you want to say, I'm still king of the mountain, at least for another.
It's
I don't know how long you want to do it for, but I
it's
think you got another couple of years in you.
oh, I mean, I'll put it like this: like in the next 3 months, I think people will kind of understand that I have a lot more than 2 years left
Yeah.
in this body. I probably have, in my opinion, the way I'm recovering and you know just the way that the body's moving. I'm knocking on wood, but I'm not saying I want to be like Dexter and go to your 50, but it's there. It's if I want it, like it's there, and that's where I'm good either way. Where if I know that hell, Phil, like you got a good 10 years in this body, it's just about how you want to use it. Do you want to use it for Olympia? Do you want to use it for TV and film? Do you want to use it just for your brand, or do you want to do all of it? You can do that now. For me to sit here and talk trash about Brandon is stupid. That's not right. He won the shot.
He was the best guy on stage, yeah.
Yeah, he won the show. Congrats to him. Just heard that they're pregnant again.
Oh boy.
That is incredible.
Oh boy.
Congratulations to them.
Yeah.
Like in all seriousness, congratulations. But when it comes down to competition, I don't know what to expect. Like going into next year, I mean, Ramy's doing the Arnold finally in Columbus. I've been telling him that for years. He should do it. He's finally going to do it. My money right now moving forward is on Patrick Moore. That's because he's my little brother, and I
So you guys are tight, right? Yeah, I remember him telling you that.
Yeah, he did my show back in 2013, and Patrick has enabled me to give back in a way where I normally couldn't. So I'm very excited.
He's
for
scary
him.
good, right? Don't you think?
Oh, I mean, trust me, he's going to be flying out to Denver, and I'm going to be putting him through some Jedi shit, So it's just the good thing about him is that he's fresh. His body's very fresh, and he's coachable. So I know him and Chris Aceto, they do a good job, and he's been able to really keep his body intact. Like for me, it's more of the mindset that I try to, because I've experienced, I would probably say as much, if not more than any other champion. So I know what to expect, especially during social media era. So, I just try to help him with that. And it's all without any, like I give Patrick, along with some of my other friends, I give with trying to receive nothing in return. So it's really me just paying it forward.
Yeah, you gotta pass it on to the next generation, man.
And that's how the sport will grow, as you know. So I'm excited for that. It's just that I feel like he is a couple years away from where I believe he could be a real problem for people. But I tell you what, people keep coming into Olympia fucked up like they did this year. He's gonna move up. And I'm just keeping it real. Like
no, you're right.
He's got the goods. He's got the conditioning. He's got the shape. And these guys should be like scratching their head, like, and then there should be someone that puts their fucking foot down, and says, no, this is my title. Like I'm still Dave. Like this. Like is it? Let me ask you a question. Isn't it kind of weird that no one's putting their foot down right now?
I quite frankly, I couldn't believe what I saw on the Olympia stage. I could not believe that there were that many people out of shape. I'm thinking 98 Olympia. Dorian retires. Everyone's gunning for that open title. That's exactly what it was this year. And everyone brought it in 98. It was one of the best Olympias of all time. And that's what the fans really, I think, were expecting. Everyone's gunning for this open title, and no one really came and owned that thing. It was Brandon won because he was the best guy on stage, but I don't think anyone was wowed by any one particular guy, aside from Hadi Chupin, who was I think, just too small, to take out Brandon Curry. But it was a missed opportunity, but that'll only make 2020 that much better. And if you're in the picture, obviously even better than that. Just getting back to Nick, because I know we're running a little short on time. Nick, talk to me a little bit about what people can expect from the Dubai Muscle Show. What's the schedule of events for the 3 days?
Yeah, sure. So we've got it's a 3-day show this year, as I mentioned. Some pretty big names there. We've got amateur bodybuilding. I think we've got just under 1,000 competitors this year.
Wow.
So it's a huge bodybuilding culture in the Middle East, and we're really excited for that. 3 days of constant competition. We've got stuff like the strongman going on. It's kind of a bit like the Arnold in Ohio in that sense. Lots of different sports going on.
What's Larry Wheels doing out there for you guys?
Yeah, so Larry's moved to Dubai now. He lives over here.
I heard that. What is he doing out in Dubai that he's living there?
Yeah, I think he just fancied a bit of a change from the conversations I had with him. I think he was in California before.
Yeah.
He's come out here, kind of started up training a bit as a strongman, and then he's doing a lot more within social media and doing various collaborations out here. So, yeah, I think, interesting guy.
Yeah, so he's not competing then? He's just going to appear?
Yeah, he's just going to be there with his brand. He's got like a clothing brand. But yeah, he's training out here now, living in Dubai.
Cool.
Wow.
It sounds like you guys are going to have a stellar show. We'll be out there. I won't be there personally, but Sid will be out there for me. We'll be interviewing all these top names up on the main stage, which we did last year. And I know a lot of people love that because it kind of gave them a bird's eye view into what was going on in Dubai over this whole entire weekend. Not everyone obviously can fly out there, but I think you guys are going to have a tremendous turnout. I want to say congratulations once again on raising the bar on the Dubai Muscle Show and bringing obviously Phil out as the representative of the show the way Jay was last year. I think you guys are going to have a tremendous time out there.
Yeah, looking forward to it. And thanks, Dave.
And Phil, I want to thank you for being so candid with us and really filling us in on what's going on in your head and what you've been up to over the last couple of months. Hopefully we get to see you back on that Olympia stage in 2020.
Absolutely, Dave. Thanks.
All right, and have a great time out in Dubai. I think it's going to be an awesome show. I love the fact you guys are holding it in the end of the year because it's kind of like a dull time and it kind of infuses a little life into that Christmas, December season. And good luck, both of you guys. And for the rest of us out here who are going to be staying back in the warm climates of Florida, or you guys up in the north that are dealing with a big chill, I'm Dave Palumbo. We'll see you next time.